Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clews.
Welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter, episode 32. And it's wonderful to be with you again. It's great to be with you again. I enjoy every one of these visits. I hope you do too. And from the notes I'm getting from you, I think you do, which is just great. And hey, write to me. Tell me what I can do to make them better and better for you. And we'll just bring these things to perfection, all right? If that's humanly possible. But today, I have a very, very special episode of Coffee with Carib Carter for you because I have to be on the road. So I can't do the regular show with the Mad Max report and the, $1,000 listing Caribbean for you. So what I've done is I've gotten together with our super producer, Brian, Surfer Boy Brian, and we are going to bring you a compilation of something I've told you about a bunch of times. Some of you, I think, probably follow, but some of you are going to be seeing for the first time what it is I've been talking about when I tell you that every single day, I post what I call Carib Carter Minute. It's usually 3, 4, sometimes 5 minutes. Carib Carter Minute on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Rumble. Okay, getting a great response from them, and they're just I was going to say all over the board, but that doesn't sound very complimentary, does it? There's a tremendous variety. Some of them, Super Surfer Boy Brian's going back for our super producer's going back for the last 3 months. He's going to pull about 10 of them for you, okay? And you're going to see a variety. Some of them I did up at Riverbend Park, right, way up in the hills and river country of West Virginia, which as I call it, a friendship village. We've talked about the friendship village concept. Friendship villages all over Central and South America now, which is what we talk about, as you know, on every episode of Coffee with Carib Carter. So some of the Carib Carter Minutes I do up at Riverbend Park, which is just fantastic community. Some of them I do down here in where I am right now, in York, Pennsylvania. Some of them I do from this desk, living room, front porch. Some of them from the basement, my dungeon, okay, where I do my weightlifting, and then do a quick Carib Carter Minute for you, all of which are tough love, okay? Because once I finish tossing around Aaron, I'm in a all right, folks, toughen up mood, because when I'm doing it, I always listen to David Goggins and Jocko Willink, whom some of you know, and I've talked to you about it before. And at the end, after Brian, super producer Brian, does all those 10 specially selected Carib Carter Minutes, I mean, they're about everything. Some of you are going to laugh. So honestly, some of you are just going to not be able to stop laughing. Others, you're going to say, wow, yeah, that makes sense. I need to make my move. I need to get going here. All kinds of reflections, and all straight to camera, talking directly to you, okay? And hopefully those of you who don't follow Carib Carter on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Rumble, after you see these, will say, man, if he does 1 or 2, sometimes I actually do 3 of these a day, I want to see him, okay? I want to start seeing him, and we'll follow Carib Carter. Will follow me on those 3 social media as well. So that's the agenda for today. I know you are going to enjoy every second of them, okay? Because I sure as heck enjoy doing them, wherever I'm doing them from. But this is the intro to them. I'm going to come back after Brian gives you the top, let's call it the top 10 Carib Carter Minutes. I'm going to come back just with a closing motivation word, which I always like to do. And then hopefully that'll put you in the position to say, you know what, I like those things. I'm going to start following them. Plus, I'm going to make my move offshore, which is the bottom line for everything we do. That's why you're a member of the Offshore Club, offshore.club. I hope that you subscribe to the free Offshore Club Gazette, which you get every morning. Tremendous variety of material in it, okay? Tremendous variety of material, which we love sending to you. I know from your notes to me that you all enjoy reading. Remember, you're 100,000 strong in the club now. So a lot of you are going to be neighbors south of the border once you decide, hey, it's time to do it. Let me make my move. Let's, once and for all, let's do this thing. All right? I'll be back. I did. Check out La Saba Beach Club, okay? La Saba Beach Club, again, where I just bought my home. I just showed you the picture of it. Because there are other homes for sale, one very similar to mine, almost next door to me, and we are now going to hear the definitive word on La Saba Beach Club, because you remember Chris Barrett when we had him on before. I just told you he's going to be on now, coming up right now, with his wife Sue Hay. Delightful couple, delightful people. And imagine, as you're listening to them in the interview that's coming up in just a minute, if you buy at La Saba Beach Club for prices that are so low, they're breathtakingly low, okay? You've heard of sticker shock. Well, get ready for some sticker shock, but not the kind of, oh my God, sticker shock, the, oh my God, really? That, give me three, okay? So now let me introduce to you two people that I have grown very fond of as I've gotten to know them. And I think they're soon going to be high on your list of people that you would value as friends as well. Chris Barrett and Sue Hay, welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter.
Hey, Carter. How you doing?
Carter, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Chris, it is great seeing you again. And Sue Hay, it is wonderful meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
This is fantastic. And you are a Hondurina, correct?
Yes, I am an Hondureña. That's right.
Hondureña, thank you.
Honduras.
Thank you for cleaning up my Spanish here. My wife does it all the time.
You're perfect.
Thank you. And folks, as most of you know, my wife also is from Honduras. She is another Hondurina, right?
You got it. You got it.
I
Yes.
got it that time. All right. So let's talk a little bit about life in Honduras first. We want to talk about two things. We want to talk about life in Honduras because I loved it when I lived there and in all of my visits. And then we want to talk specifically about something that Chris and I talked about when he was on before. And Chris, I want to mention, we got a lot of great comments from your earlier visit with us. So thank you for that.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And it's a pleasure. And we want to talk about what we talked with him before, now including you, and that is the Saba Beach Club, the gorgeous, gorgeous residential resort community where I bought my home from this gentleman and this lady, okay? But first let's talk about your life growing up in Honduras. What city? I know you grew up in a city. There are three big cities in Honduras: Tegucigalpa, the capital; La Saba, which they call the tourism capital; and then San Pedro Sula, which is kind of like the industrial capital. And you grew up in
San Pedro Sula. I was born in San Pedro Sula. Yes.
San Pedro Sula. San Pedro Sula, folks, reminds me a lot. I've spent a lot of time there. Reminds me a lot of Baltimore when I was a kid. And at Baltimore when I was a kid, you would not believe it today, but Baltimore when I was a kid was was idyllic. Okay, we still had the Colts and Johnny Unitas for one thing, so that was pretty important. But tell us about growing up in San Pedro Sula.
Well, I born in San Pedro Sula, and I grew up in La Lima. My mom was a teacher, and it's like a well, it's my home. I love it.
All right. And did you spend much time in San Pedro Sula growing up, or did you come back and forth, or pretty much stay out in the small town?
I pretty much stay. I mean, no, I'm going back and forth in San Pedro. Yes, well, I have a family in there. My whole family is from there, and yes, I was going back and forth. Yes.
And I think one thing that may shock people, one, folks, is one of my favorite Italian restaurants in the world is in San Pedro Sula. And unfortunately, I can't think of the name. It's very near. It's within walking distance of the mall, and it's within walking distance of the Princess Hilton Hotel. So it's right down there in the business center, and also the mall. One of the things that may shock people, whenever they think Honduras, I think they think pineapple plants and banana trees, but the San Pedro Sula Mall is absolutely stunningly beautiful. Am I right?
Yes, you are absolutely right. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
It's one of the biggest in Central America.
Yeah.
In Honduras.
Really?
Yeah, one of the biggest. At one time, it was the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that. I mean, the selection of stores is phenomenal. It's just perfectly laid out, gorgeous, clean, and it just an enjoyable place to be. And I had the pleasure several times of being there at Christmas, and it was just festive.
Oh yes, Christmas is the biggest holiday in Honduras. For us, that's a big deal.
Christmas is a big deal, and you know, one of the things I like about Christmas in Honduras, and I'm showing that I am a Methodist minister's son here. I love the fact that it's still a very religious holiday in Honduras. Yeah.
That's why for us it's like I said, it's a big deal. It's one of the most important holidays for us.
Yeah.
Folks,
you actually see as many manger scenes as you do Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeers. So what was school like growing up in Honduras? Because I want people to understand there is a great life to be lived in Honduras, a wonderful life to be lived in Honduras.
Yes, it is.
So tell us a little bit about what it was like for you.
Well, I went to a school near where I live in Lima, where I grew up. And then I finished high school in San Pedro. Then I went to university in San Pedro.
In San Pedro?
In San Pedro, yeah. Like I said, I was going back and forth from where I live. So, but I finished my whole education in San Pedro, one of the schools in San Pedro.
And how about the quality of education? People, a lot of the members of the Offshore Club, the viewers of Coffee with Carib Carter, wonder if they move there, what kind of education can their children get?
Oh my gosh, it's huge. Our variety, we have a huge variety of vegetation, and our food is
no. It's like education.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said vegetation.
It sounded like you said vegetation.
I'm thinking about food. Yeah. Oh,
what did you think I said, Suhei? What did you think I said?
Vegetation.
Vegetation.
Oh, vegetation.
Yeah.
Vegetables.
Well, you're absolutely right. There's a huge variety of vegetation.
I'm hungry. I'm just hungry.
No, he asked you about, he was actually I was talking about schooling for foreigners to go there if they want to go to school, or they want to bring their kids to school, or maybe it's somebody in their teens want to go to college down there or something like that.
Oh, we have one of the best colleges in La Saba and in San Pedro, wherever you choose.
The private ones. The
private ones there.
What was your major in college?
Well, I went for business administration for 2 years. Good. Yeah. Very
good. Mm-hmm. And I think, and it was a good quality education. Obviously, you speak very, very good English, I might add. Did you learn English on your own, or did you learn it at school?
Yeah, I'm still working on my English. I'm learning on my own. Yeah, when I met Chris, I speak zero English. Nothing. So still I speak broken English, but I'm working on it.
You speak English very, very well. You really do.
Oh, thank you.
You really do. Yeah. Yeah. You have that delightful Honduran accent, just like my wife does. And it's wonderful. Yeah. It's great.
We'll be meeting up, October, November? October, you're back down there, right?
Yeah, I think October or November, early November, we'll be down. We have a home up in West Virginia that we like to spend part of the summer in. Then but that closes because it's a residential resort community too, but it closes on November 1st. And right after that, we're heading down. I mean, I just can't wait. I can't wait. And that you're asking me about that is a perfect segue into now. But first, before I get to the segue, I want to point something out which I found delightful. When I said to Chris, do you think Suhei, do you think your wife would be willing to come on? And he said, well, I'll talk to her. He said, I'll tell you, she really is the one who runs things. She knows, she is the business. And now we know why, because you were a business major in college.
I told you. Yeah. Well, I'm glad she came on ahead of time too, because without her, I couldn't have done anything down there. To be honest with you, I know Spanglish. I mean, that's
we are a team.
Yeah, teamwork.
We are a teamwork. Yeah,
it's fantastic. It is fantastic.
Yeah. And
let's talk some, which a subject very obviously near and dear to me is the Saba Beach Club, which Chris. We talked about this a little before, but and just so folks will recall, and I'm sure a lot of the Carib Carter cadre will recall, because I talk about it every week about I have a home there. Hold on, I can't wait a minute. I'm like the king of show and tell. This is almost embarrassing. People keep saying to me, it's just, why don't you learn how to put things on video instead of holding up pictures? But folks, look at this. Hold on.
Yeah, right. Yep.
That is my home at the Saba Beach Club. It is absolutely
Carter.
Gorgeous.
It actually looks better now than that.
It's really better now.
It looks really nice.
Looks really nice now.
My wife was there for 3 weeks, and she did some remodeling, and it is it's gorgeous. And I am so grateful to you two for building it and selling it to me, because actually you sold it to me through a third person, our good friend Anthony.
Yeah,
he's just a fantastic guy, and one day we're going to have him on. And it is just it. And I tell people over and over, you walk out my front door and you are on the beach. You walk out my back door, you're at the swimming pool. It's pretty tough to beat that.
Yeah.
So tell us, how did Saba Beach Club come about? And then let's get into, I want to tell people before we're done here how they can buy in now and become my neighbor come November. So first of all, how did it come about?
Oh, you want me to answer that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
together.
Okay. Went down to Honduras, and through it all, I saw some opportunities, and I bought 150 feet of beachfront, and we're going to build our house there. And I'm thinking commercial, maybe do something like a townhouse and build 4 units, and then kind of just expanded, and just went on and on. And then I didn't realize I was going to do so well, like I mentioned to you before, and it kind of exploded. Like, people go, Honduras, where's that? And then like, right below Mexico, north of Costa Rica. Really? Honduras. So people started getting interested in it, and investigating, everything about Honduras, everything, and ended up selling a lot of property, over 200 properties I've sold. So, and then I had to put a name to it, and Saba Beach Club. I mean, that was it, that quick.
And that's how it started. Yeah.
What'd you say, Suhei?
And that's how it started.
That's how it started. And folks, we're talking about a gorgeous, gorgeous gated community right on the ocean. Perfect landscaping. I mean, the landscaping you guys did is just beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, we don't like cookie cutter stuff. I kind of like rustic, trees overgrowing a little bit. I'm not going to trim my coconuts. Oh, getting this big, we need to cut them down so it hits somebody in the head or something. Let them grow. Let the coconuts grow.
Exactly.
Let them grow. Here's I want to show them this picture too. Look, I'm terrible with this show and tell. Look at that picture looking out over the ocean at the Saba Beach Club, folks. I mean, you cannot, I honestly believe that you cannot find a more beautiful spot because naturally it has natural beauty to begin with, but the landscaping you've done, the way you've laid it out, a gated community. It has the guards there. It has, and I think you have full-time gardeners, right?
Yeah, we have Venancio who's worked with us for 17 and a half years, and
Yes.
he breaks, cuts grass. He does it all.
It's just shocking. It is shocking.
Yeah.
So how many homes are there now?
Phase 1, there's 13 homes there. In phase 5, there's actually a 2-story with rooftop terrace under construction right now. So another one's under construction. So once another one goes up, then people see that and it kind of action starts again. So I'm going to start getting a lot more action when people see videos of houses under construction on the beach.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's fun to watch them.
And they I mentioned the swimming pool out my back door. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Look at this, folks.
That's
Look at this.
Yeah,
Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that's just gorgeous. And so how many in the section where my home is now, how many are there any homes still available?
There's possibly there's one right now and possibly another one in about 2-3 weeks. I'm working on that right now.
Now, I think Rachel, my wife, said when she was there that there's one home very similar to mine.
Mm-hmm. That's the one. That's one of them.
That's one.
That is for sale. What's the price on that?
That right there is less than 40,000. Let's put it that way.
Remarkable.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I was it's a funny thing. I was just over at Lowe's, the Lowe's near where I am. And I know a lot of the people work there, good friends. And one of them, they were saying, how's everything with you? I said, everything's great with me because we're heading down to Honduras, come November and getting away from all the crap up here. And the guy, Dave in electrical department, and he was talking to a friend of his, said, man, I wish I was joining you. And I said, well, you really should, because I just bought a gorgeous 2-bedroom home, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, very modern, on the ocean, not ocean view, ocean front, swimming pool out the back door, and I paid $32,000 for it. And I swear to God, their mouths dropped open. It was like they had had a stroke or something. It was fantastic. So, I want folks to understand, you need to get hold of Chris and Suhei and talk to them about these homes, because 2 reasons. 3 reasons. 1, you can be my neighbor, which I would just love. 2, these are incredible, beautiful homes in a gorgeous community at fantastic prices. And 3, I'm just going to say outright, these prices are not going to last, because the demand is going up all the time.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
The demand is skyrocketing. There is, I'm going to make a prediction here. And folks, this tells you need to invest. Look, if all you want to do is invest, do it now. I'm going to make a prediction. Within 20 years, 1 out of every 2 people that you now know is either going to have moved south of the border or be preparing to move south of the border. Okay? I'm just telling you, there's a population inversion going on. One of my good friends is a guy named Mike Cobb, who owns about 5 resorts throughout the Caribbean. As a matter of fact, he just built one very near the Saba Beach Club. Atlanta. Here goes my Spanish again. Atlantida.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And beautiful homes. And he built 12 and a building 12. They sold out in a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
In a weekend. Because, and he said, I've been building homes throughout the Caribbean communities for 25 years. I've never seen the demand there is now. So, folks, you need to talk to Chris and Suhei now and get in on this. I'll be honest with you. If I had I'd buy the one he just said is 40,000. If I had another 40,000 to put out right now, I might sell a couple of my cars and do it, because it's just it's wonderful. If you live there, it's fantastic. If as an investment, I think it's fantastic. And now the developers right here.
Carter, I'd like to bring up another point, though, too, is a lot of people go, okay, I'm 32 years old or 42 or even 52 years old, and they don't want to have a property down there that they can't get to right now because they don't have vacation time or they have kids or something like that. Buy the land. You have the
Yes.
land, you build in the future.
Beautiful.
Build in the future.
You-
And you have it locked in that location. Like you said, everything's selling, and they don't make any more beachfront. So that's an affordable way to lock in on something, you know, that your dream of the beach or something. It's buy a piece of land.
Buy the land, but do it now. You know, Mark Twain. Yeah, do it now. Mark Twain said, land is the best investment because they can't make more of it. And that's just
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, it is so
and
true, yeah.
beachfront property, think about it, folks. In this country, you see these ads for buy a home at the beach for $500,000, $1 million, and it always says, I love how they put it, beach view. Okay, yeah. If you have binoculars,
Yeah, and you're 4 blocks away. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's no beachfront property in this country left. And if you think you might want to buy in California, well, you like the idea of 16% personal taxes, 16%. You know who, you guys know who Tony Robbins is? The great motivational speaker.
No, actually.
Tony's fantastic. Been around for years.
Okay.
He just moved a couple of years ago from California to, and he makes a lot of money, obviously, to Florida, because Florida does not have property taxes. He said he saved, or income taxes rather. He said he saved $13 million a year. Okay.
Wow.
Oh my
Well,
God.
folks, people, you can't buy, you don't want beachfront property. You can't get it. But even if you did, in California, South Beach, Miami, it's all gone. So, Chris, you're so right. Invest now. Do
Yeah,
it
the
now.
taxes are so low. It's just, you know, I mean, say you won the lottery, you got $1 million, you bought your beachfront lot in Miami for $1 million. How do you pay the taxes on it if you're making, you know, 50 grand or 100 grand a year? I mean, it's
Oh.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
These lots
It's
down there are like
insane.
under $50 a year for a
Fantastic.
beach lot. That's pretty affordable, I think, to
Pretty
anybody.
affordable.
Yeah.
It is absolutely fantastic. And you know, I tell my wife now, you know, I'm 75. My wife is considerably younger than me. And I tell her, you are set for life now. You're set for life. You know, when I kick off in a couple of years, 25 years, I want to make that clear. She's set for life. She has a gorgeous beachfront property in a place that's going to skyrocket. You know, I always tell people when they say, but it's a long-term investment. And I tell them, well, you are going to get older. You know, if you had invested, and this is shocking to me, had you bought one share of stock in Berkshire Hathaway, you know, Warren Buffett's company, when he founded it, okay, it cost $18. Today it's worth one share, $500,000. Okay. You invest now, folks. Those of you who are young, which Chris just referenced, in beachfront property from Chris and Sue Hay now, and it's going to have that kind of multiple in 10 or 20 years. I'm telling you. Do you agree with that? You're the experts.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree
Yeah.
with you.
No stock is going to have that kind of return. No stock is going to have that kind of return. It's a great investment. It's a great place to go to now. You know, if you put the money in stock, you're going to get, you know, in a great mutual fund, 5 or 6% return. They'll tell you it's 10. It's a lie. It's 5 or 6% return. And you can't live in the stock. In the
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was never into stocks. Although I like tangible. I like to have something I can see, feel, and touch. You know, and that's it. Land, beach. Say you don't want to build on it. You still vacation there in a hotel. Go to your beach property. Stick an umbrella up. And go swimming. I mean, you know, and it's yours.
Yeah.
It's yours. It's fantastic.
It's yours.
So you all done a remarkable thing. Now, how much more building you going to? How many homes are you by the time you're done? Okay, where I bought my home is did you say is section 1 or
Phase 1? Yeah,
Phase
13
1.
homes there. There's enough room to build another house in there, but I don't think that's happened. I have I've sold so many residential standard sized lot that people are for investment that I don't even know where I'm going with that. I've sold a lot of lots down there for people that are a lot of younger people.
Yeah.
And I would say in the next 10 years, it's going to probably be another 30, 40 homes, which is good. That's not selling any more properties. That's just from what I've already sold, and the people told me what their plans were with the property.
Yeah, and let me show another picture, if I may. I just can't help myself. This is my wife on our beachfront, thanks to Chris and Suhei. Look at that. Look at that picture.
Nice. Wow. Gorgeous.
Yeah, she's having fun.
Oh, it's just having a great time. I just, by the way, did a direct mail letter to the members of the Offshore Club saying, you know, this is what you can get if you get hold of Chris now and make your purchase. And I put that picture on there and put a little caption under it saying you can buy this property, but that's my wife and she does not come with the property. Okay.
Gotcha. I had to say that more than once.
Yeah, just so they would know. This is now they've seen my house and they've seen it 1,000,001 times. This is another one of the properties there, right?
Yep. Actually, Tony just bought that. That's right. I built that originally for David and Chen out of Israel, and I just sold that to Tony for them.
Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. How big is that home? It's huge.
It's not that big. It's only about 2,000 square feet. It's just laid out very, very well in there. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths with a study, which could be, the study is 12 by 14, so that could be another bedroom, I guess, with a pool.
With a pool.
Yeah.
And what's the price on it?
I sold it to Tony. I don't know if I should say what I sold it for, but it was right around $100,000, right around there.
That
fully furnished out the door.
Look, in the U.S., that's $1 million home.
Absolutely.
That's $1 million home, at least in the U.S. That just is, folks. So, and that will be $1 million home in not too many years, if you invest in it now. So we're talking about a great place to live. We're talking about a great investment to make, and we're talking about they get to know the two of you.
Yeah, this is really cool to have Suhei with me this time.
Which is a real bonus. Yeah, which is pretty fantastic. Like the frosting on the cake, folks.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to thank you. Thank you for joining us on Coffee with Carib Carter today. I know we're going to get a lot of good responses from this. How can they reach you for more information about specific properties? This is very important.
The best way to contact me is just call me or text me. My phone's on 24/7, so just give me a call.
Yeah.
What's the phone number?
It's 561-252-5176.
Once more?
561-252-5176. That's my Florida cell. You can text me, call me, either one.
It's fantastic. And I appreciate your being here. I appreciate everything you've done. I appreciate the fact that thanks to you, my wife and I now own a gorgeous beachfront home in a wonderful community. By the way, when she was down there, she said every morning the gardener would cut a coconut down for her and open it up so you could drink the coconut milk.
That's what I do every time I go there. Yeah, that's what I do. I said, Venancio, please cut me a coconut. Fresh coconut. Oh my gosh, I love it. Yeah.
Fresh. And if they went, and she said when I wanted fresh milk, I could walk down to the local farm where they milk the cow for me.
It's true. Yeah.
So you all have done a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carter, for having us on.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your joining us. God
bless.
Thank
you for having us.
Talk to you soon, Carter.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, it's Carib Carter. And what I have to say, it's not all that pleasant, but sometimes, you know, the important news comes in ugly wrappers, okay? Sometimes it does. And the important news is, yesterday I had a meeting with some top Washington insiders. You remember I worked in Washington in politics at the very top for over 40 years. These people are still there, and they know what's going on behind the scenes where you're not allowed, okay? And let me tell you something. If you still think that you don't want to make your move offshore, if you're still waiting around, and I know there's a temptation to do that. Change can be tough, okay? My father used to say the greatest fear is the fear of the unknown. First of all, it's not that unknown, trust me. Once you make your move to Central or South America, you're gonna turn somersaults because of how much you love it. Trust me on that, please. But what they told me is coming down the pike is not something freedom-loving people want, okay? The taxes, they've already begun. The big lie Biden told me, I'm not raising taxes on the middle class. And in his phony infrastructure bill is the pilot program to put in place taxing every mile you drive. I already told you about that, right? I already told you about that. The breathalyzer fees you're gonna have to pay on new cars. The heck? I don't even drink. And I'm sure a lot of you don't either. If you do, not to excess, of course. But the government doesn't care. They want that money out of your pocket into theirs. The housing, the CDC's mandate that people don't have to pay rents. First of all, who the hell's the CDC to make that decision? Secondly, it's not temporary, ladies and gentlemen. It's not temporary. Please believe me. And it's only an intermediate step. All these things are intermediate steps. What's the real goal? Once they take over the housing, because people own them, especially people who own a couple units that they relying on for their income as they got older, once they lose those, you can't keep them. You can't keep them, you're not collecting any rent. But you're still paying taxes. Isn't that nice? Then the CDC will turn it over to HUD, which will make it Section 8. The ultimate goal, Section 8, coming to a neighborhood near you. That's part of the CD. Remember, everything they do in the Biden regime is a step toward, I'm going to say the word, I'm going to say it, totalitarianism, okay? That's why I'm urging you, get offshore now, don't wait. The internet. We now know the Biden regime is conspiring with Zuckerberg and the Twitter people and the Google. All these people, they're the ones demanding the censorship. Biden's press secretary bragged about it recently. Okay, that's their program. I'm going to tell you something. Watch for the internet controls to unfold in the months ahead by government, okay? Move offshore, you'll still be free to write what you want and say what you want on the internet. I'm just telling you, and let me finish with this. Please do not be the last to leave, okay? I'm talking about monsters, and here I am drinking a monster here, okay? Please do not be the last to leave. You know why you don't want to be the last one to leave a sinking ship? A lot of reasons. One, may not be any lifeboats left. Two, when the ship tilts, you might go cascading down the side, okay? And when it plunges, you might get sucked under if you're still on there. So don't be the last to leave. I'll finish with this. I know this is long, but it's so important. It's so important. My Uncle Jimmy Zagami, what a wonderful man he was. Lived in an Italian neighborhood when I was a kid, a long time ago, in Washington, with the Marcianos and the Nefarios. They're Italian, had a little neighborhood around Georgia Avenue. Then the Blockbusters came. And the neighborhood just got worse and worse by the day. My grandfather, Marciano, he finally had to sell his home. He had come as an immigrant. That was his dream. The same with the Reggios down the street. But Uncle Jimmy Zagami didn't want to leave. This was his dream. He had come here as an Italian from Sicily, worked hard, backbreaking work in order to buy his own little home there in the neighborhood. By the time they were done, he had to sell his home for a couple $1,000s and flee into the night because he waited too long. General MacArthur said the most tragic words in English language were too late. Please, I beg of you, don't wait until it's too late. Start to put together your plan B. Start to establish your escape route. Go to offshore.club. Yeah, I'm the president of it. Am I selling it to you? No, it's free. Subscribe to the free newsletter, Offshore Club Gazette. You'll get it every day, and I'll help you at least to start to consider to make your move, okay? To make your move offshore, to the good life at a great price. Yeah, to the sun, sand, and surf. You can't beat that. And to freedom. Let's do this thing. We have something that's not new, but is old, an old friend. Those of you who have, I think this is my third interview with James Manship, lives at Lake Chapala, Mexico. And I just love the guy. I've known him years, and he's just a good guy. You know, sometimes you meet someone, you say, you know what, he's just a good guy. And that's James. And not only is just a good guy, James does not have a lot of money, but he sure does live a good life, because in Lake Chapala, Mexico, he can do it at a great price. So now let's go to the interview that I've done with James, and sit back and relax and just enjoy this delightful character and take into account what he has to say, because you're going to be pretty shocked at the parasite, at the I was going to say paradisical, I guess, paradisical lifestyle he lives, the incredible low prices, and how good it can be for you as well. So let's go to James. James, welcome. It's good to see you, buddy.
Well, it's good to be here. I'm over at my friend's house in San Antonio, La Capan, which is, probably within about 200 yards of Lake Chapala. And
Right.
he lives in a place called Villa Formosa, which I don't know how many condos it's got, but it's got a beautiful pool here you can see.
Gorgeous.
And
gorgeous.
If you look above me, it's all covered with beautiful trees and so forth like that. And I don't know if you can see the gardens behind me and so forth like that. They're
Excellent.
really lovely place. And anyway, he rents this place for, I think, $500 a month.
Unbelievable.
It's a two-bedroom place. And then he's bought a condo in Chapala as well. So he stayed at my Airbnb in April and found this place for May, and in August he's bought a condo.
Unbelievable.
So let's go ahead.
Right at the outset here, let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to come down and stay at the Airbnb, so that they can one day rent their own apartment for $500 a month, or buy their place. How do they get hold of you?
Well, if you go on Airbnb and you look for Lake Chapala, my place is called the Grand Gazebo Getaway, because my place up on the mountainside looks like a big gazebo. All right.
Excellent.
A grand gazebo. And let's see, I'm trying to get this so you can sort of see all the garden trees and the shades and everything else like that. It's really lovely.
It's just gorgeous.
But my email is workmanship@me.com.
Workmanship.
Workmanship@me.com.
Good. Folks, write to James. Let him know you want to come down, stay at his Airbnb, so that you can look around. Look, you can't beat. Look at this, $500 for a 2-bedroom apartment, and this is how you live. Gorgeous weather, beautiful, beautiful foliage, scenery, surroundings, environment, and a good neighbor like James to boot. That's the best part of all.
Well, the thing about Chapala compared to many other places is National Geographic describes it as one of the 2 best climates in the world. And it's, this morning I got an alert that it was 66 degrees this morning, but most of the time it's always in the 70s and the 80s.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
And, it's very dry most of the time. This is rainy season, but I mean, it's just great. And I'm just showing you, trying to walk around and let you see some of the gardens.
It's absolutely stunning.
Maybe you can see it over my shoulder. I can't really see it. There's kind of glare on my screen as I'm holding it, but I'm hoping that you'll.
Oh yeah, we can see it great. We can see it great. The landscaping is just superb. And folks, at the offshore.
And there's my friend here. You see this mermaid here. Let's see there she is.
There she is. Yeah.
See my mermaid?
She is beautiful, James. You're a lucky man. You are a lucky man. And, we tell people on Offshore.club all the time that the purpose of Offshore.club is help folks move south and live the good life at a great price south of the border. And boy, you're sure proving it with these pictures. That's just a wonderful life. Now, so how's your day-to-day life now? Last time we talked to you, it was very pleasant. I think last time we talked to you had a beard. I like this shaven look here. Very clean cut.
The beard is somewhat a CCP COVID protest, and so when I came down here on the 13th of March, I started growing it, and then in honor of Bastille Day, where that famous Irish executioner guillotine used to chop off heads, I just
Right.
decided to chop off head hair, my beard. So but it was somewhat of an honoring of the French Bastille Day.
That was
Just
very
not
kind.
quite so extreme.
That was very kind of you. So in Mexico right now, it's what time is late afternoon? Is that right?
I think it's about 3:30 now. It's 1 hour behind Eastern Standard
One
Time.
hour behind Eastern Standard Time. And here's an interesting tidbit that I'll bet most people don't know: that Mexico is not Central America. It's not Latin America. Mexico is North America, right?
Well, all
Yeah.
of it is North America from Panama Canal north, but
Okay.
Mexico is a different country than the others. And I think I read someplace like it's the 14th largest economy in the world. It's probably 10th or 11th in size, in geographic size. It has all sorts of different variations, from the steamy coastline area to 6,000 and 7,000 foot towns and pueblos that are very cool.
Right.
Okay, so mountainous areas. So like, and right here near Chapala, which is the largest natural lake in Mexico. I don't know, maybe 15 miles east of here is Mescala, the island of Mescala. And that was a place that was kind of like Valley Forge and Trenton in the American Revolution. For 6 years, the Spanish tried to quell the rebellious people, the rebels in Mescala, and never were able to, and eventually did a truce. And this area is also where the Christian army intended 1816, during the same time as our War of 1812 time thing.
Right.
And then, so it's kind of an interesting historical thing. And then in 1926, 1929, you had the Christian army that opposed the atheist socialist government of Plutarco Calles, president of Mexico. And that's in this area too. And then, like about 75 miles away, is Huacamontes, which is where the round pyramids were of the Olmecs from 1000 BC to 250 AD, about 1,000 years before the Aztec pyramids in Mexico City, 250 miles to the east. So, kind of interesting. I'm a historian, so I'm trying to learn about Mexican history too.
Well, you seem to have a very good grasp of it. Let me ask you a question, because I know it's on everybody's mind, and there's nobody better to answer it than you because you're there. How fearful are you? When we hear about Mexico, let's just face it, all you think about, all people hear about from our government especially, is drug cartels. Do you, how fearful you are of drug cartels in Lake Chapala?
No more fearful of drug cartels than if I were in Baltimore, Maryland. Matter of fact, a friend who I helped set up a Airbnb in Baltimore arrived on my doorstep at 3:00 in the morning today, and he's selling his place in Baltimore and looking to buy either here or to go to Florida to Cocoa Beach or something like that. But he came here with me in 2018 with my mom, and he just loved it. So he's come back down. He's sort of scouting the area again. But you're safer here, in my opinion, than you are in Baltimore or Chicago or Detroit.
Oh my God, you're safer in hell than you are in Baltimore, Chicago, or Detroit. I mean, it's just, but I have a feeling that you're safer there than you are in most normal American cities nowadays. I just get that feeling.
Well, that's probably so. I mean, I am not a good person to speak on that because I'm not in the drug business at all. But I mean, if you if you maintain your friends or associates who are in the drug business, you're more likely going to encounter drug violence. I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
duh, how hard is that to figure out?
Yeah.
But, I'm not in that arena. And so I really don't know of it. I do know that, there were places where they have, caught people here and, there's, the national government has come to sort of quit fighting to a certain extent because all that does is cause, consequent casualties amongst the population.
Yeah.
And, to a certain extent, that's the same thing that our police are doing in the United States. It's kind of like,
Oof.
An accommodation where, but I am not really familiar. That's really just what I'm getting from, reading reports. Probably the most amazing thing I heard recently is some American who hired somebody to fix his house, and then the Mexican guy came in while he was away and stole things, and he had videotape of it. So the American invited the guy back in his house, somehow tied him up, and beat him to death with a baseball bat. The Mexican. Well, guess where that American is now? In the local jail. That's where he should be.
Well, of course. Yeah.
So
So
talk
essentially,
about crime. What crime has the American brought into this area? But that's an odd circumstance. Granted.
So essentially, what we're saying, folks, I'm just going to tell you right now, you are safer in Mexico, particularly Chet Yamal, than in pretty much any city in America. And you can be sure in Mexico, unlike American cities now, they do not release 90% of criminals. So let's get rid of that. Don't listen to the U.S. State Department. They want you to stay in the U.S. because that way they collect more taxes, the U.S. government. So let's put the crime thing behind you, folks. It just ain't so. Okay, it just ain't so. I'm telling you. My wife just got back from Honduras, James. Saba had a wonderful time. Was not threatened. She had a great time there in our new beach home. So don't, folks, put that out. Get that.
Carter, I just want to let you know that I told a friend of mine in Singapore about your wife having just bought a beach house because one of her goals in life is to have a beachfront villa. And I said, well, one of my friends, Carter Clews, his wife has just bought one in Central America. I wasn't sure if it was Costa Rica or Honduras. Now I'll tell my friend in Singapore that was in Honduras.
Right. It's the development is called La Saba Beach Club. 30,000.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
2-bedroom, 1 bath, right on the water. We are on the ocean. Out the back door is the swimming pool, clubhouse, gazebo. So, folks, buy now. Buy now. Actually, I know I can't keep you forever because you're obviously living the good life there. But have you ever been to Chet Yamal, Mexico?
I have not been, but
I love that city.
I plan to do a lot more traveling. As I say, I had a friend from Mumbai, India, who is an hot air balloon pilot, and he couldn't travel directly from India to the U.S., so he came and quarantined at my Airbnb for 2 weeks. And we went to Mezcala, and we went to the Huacamantes pyramids, and we went to Tequila, to the tequila factories there, and he went to Guadalajara and some of the beautiful cathedrals and things like that. So there's a lot to see here in this area. And Guadalajara is the second largest city in Mexico, and it's got some beautiful churches and tremendous hospitals. There's a lot of people that come down here for dental tourism here in Lake Chapala.
What kind of tourism?
Dental tourism. They get teeth implants, and you can get
dental.
Yeah, you can get the whole thing done for a fraction of what it would cost you in the States. So I knew a guy who was like a IBM executive in Connecticut, and he was also an Army reservist. And he came down here, and his son from Honolulu, Hawaii, came here to get dental work.
Yeah, my wife had to have molars removed. Up here, they would have been $1,000 a piece. In Honduras, they were $60 a piece. And no,
Right.
folks, they, unlike the American government would like you to believe, they do not use an X-Acto knife and a pair of pliers in Honduras. It's very advanced and very, 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 antiseptic in the works. So, folks, you're looking over James' shoulder right now, and you're looking at a man who's enjoying the good life at a great price. And, he keeps showing us the background there. Folks, that's paradise. You don't have to live the way that we're forced to live up here. And I just have to say it, that we're forced to live up here. I mean, that, James, it's just, I'm so glad that you keep moving and showing us the background. Let me ask you one quick final question. I don't even know if you have the answer. Before we go, you have any idea, just ballpark, what your friend paid for the condo?
Yes, he paid $102,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo with a condo complex pool.
Incredible. And near the lake, right? You said it was near the lake?
Oh, yeah. His place is probably within 600 yards of Christiana Park and the lakefront.
Fantastic. All right, one more time before we go, give them how they can get hold of you so they can come down and visit and see everything you've said for them and shown for themselves.
Well, one thing, my email is workmanship@me.com. And I'm working today, working really hard. And my Airbnb thing is Lake Chapala, Mexico. And my place is called Grand Gazebo Getaway.
Fantastic.
And I have a balcony where you can see the lake from my front balcony. And, it's by the way, I've helped, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 different people come down. They usually come for 2 weeks to a month so they can look around and find a place to rent, or like my friend Dan did, he first rented and then he bought one within a couple months. And so it's a good way to do it, because if you come down, you can relax and sort of go in different parts and see where you want to stay. And indeed, some people go to Airbnbs, like 4 or 5 of them over the course of a month, so they can actually sleep in each one of these neighborhoods to see the noises at night.
Yeah.
It's really a very smart way to do it. And,
I
don't have any problem if somebody wants to come and stay with me for a week and with somebody else for a week and somebody else with a week. Hey, that's fine. Whatever helps you make your decision, that's what we want to do.
It's fantastic. James, once again, thank you for joining us, my friend. It is always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
And
thank
I'll
you,
turn
James.
it around this way so you can see the pool in the background. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, my friend. Take care. God bless you.
Bless you. Hi, and welcome back. I told you we were going to do a donut. I did the intro, and then our super producer, Brian, took the top 10 Carib Carter minutes for you. I hope you enjoyed watching them as much as I enjoyed doing them, okay? Good variety, hopefully a lot of good information there for you to help you make your move south of the border. So we always like to close with something motivational. So today, I want to close by recommending to you something very near and dear to my heart, which I think is real. I'm going to make a guarantee, if you will watch or listen to what I'm going to tell you about in just a minute, absolutely, if you will do this for 1 week, 5 days, I will guarantee you that if you have any inclination to make your move offshore, you're going to go ahead and get her done. As Larry the Cable Guy says, get her done, okay? Because this is the single greatest motivational video / audio. You don't have to watch it. You can listen to it. I probably listened to it 10 times when I've been driving, okay? And as I said earlier, I listen to it when I'm weightlifting. I'm going to weightlift later today before I head out on my trip, and I'm going to listen to it again because what it tells you is that your own life is in your own hands, and you can accomplish whatever you want. So up there on the screen now, you see lower third there, the where you can watch it on YouTube. I'll just read it to you. Okay, youtube.com/watch?V equals capital DG dash O, capital A, capital F, 1, little I, underline, capital U, capital A. Okay? And I said, why do I have those weird names? But they do, but it's on your screen there. Okay? Where you can find it on YouTube, or just go to YouTube and type in Goggins Willink, WILLINK, Unstoppable, because that's the name of this video audio, and that's what it's going to make you. Let me give you a little taste of it here. Ready? Just to listen to it. Ready?
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep? Don't have enough energy? Don't have enough time? Is that what's stopping you right now? Don't have enough money? Is that the thing? Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Wow. Wow. When I think back on everything in my life I failed to accomplish, you know what stopped me? Me. I stopped me. I could have done it if I had pushed on. So I urge you, check out this Unstoppable video. Watch it 5 times, and I got a feeling you're going to be joining me in making the move south of the border. Maybe we'll be neighbors at La Saba Beach Club, El Colon in Honduras, any of those places. I'm looking at a place in Nicaragua now. I'll keep you posted on it. Any of the places I've told you about it in $1,000 listing Caribbean over the past 31 episodes. Listen to this video, and I got a feeling you're going to join me in saying, once and for all, hey, Carib Carter, let's do this.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us at the Offshore Club. For more information on the Offshore Club or to contact Carib Carter, visit www.offshore.club today. www.offshore.club. That's www.offshore.club. See you next time at the Offshore Club.